All right, today we're jumping into something really cool from a company called TempoSense. We're looking at their flagship project, the Gastronomic Tour. And trust me, this is an idea that might just change the way you think about food, travel, well, everything.
For so long, travel has been about one thing: going somewhere, seeing the sights, snapping a photo, and moving on. But what if that all changed? What if the whole point of a trip wasn't about the place you went, but about what you discovered inside yourself while you were there?
Well, that's the huge shift that's happening in travel right now. We're moving away from this old model that was all about the space, just being in a place, to something that's all about the experience. It's a jump from just passively looking at things to actively engaging your senses, and ultimately getting to know yourself a little better.
And that is exactly where the gastronomic tour comes in. Now, listen, the most important thing to get here is this. This is not your typical food tour where you just bounce from restaurant to restaurant. Not at all. It's actually framed as a sensory training tour. Food is just the tool they use to give you the real experience. So, what is it, really? Well, think of it like this. It's a journey where the simple act of eating gets totally transformed. It becomes a tool. A tool for what, you ask? A tool for training your senses and, believe it or not, for experiencing your own consciousness in a whole new light. It's really all about learning to pay super close attention to what you're feeling from one moment to the next.
So how in the world does this actually work? Well, it's all built on 4 core systems that work together. First, you've got gourmet guides, actual people who help you find the words to describe what your senses are picking up. Then, there's a taste AI agent that logs and crunches the data on your personal reactions. Third, your experience gets measured against this really unique framework of taste awareness. And finally, the whole thing just gets you into the habit, a culture, a recording what you sense, making you a part of the process.
And what's so cool is how this all creates this amazing feedback loop. You have a sensory experience, you talk it through with your guide, you record your thoughts, and the AI analyzes it all. And then that analysis helps shape your next experience. It builds this personalized taste profile for you, like a map of your own sensory journey. It's a system designed to turn first-time customers into lifelong companions.
Okay, so we've talked about the big system, the grand idea, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break down what this sensory analysis thing actually looks and sounds like, bite by bite.
It's one thing to say, describe what you taste. But what does that really mean when you get down to it? What kind of detail are we actually talking about here? So, the descriptions we're about to look at, these aren't just some random casual thoughts. No way. These are actual award-winning entries from a major taste evaluation competition. This is what it looks like when people are trained to listen to their senses with an incredible amount of focus. Okay, just listen to this. This is about eating a piece of conch in a noodle soup. It's not just, oh, it's chewy. No, it's about the sound it makes as your teeth cut through it, that kuduk kuduk sound. And then the feeling of its sticky essence mixing with the broth. That's a whole event happening in your mouth, both auditory and tactile. Amazing. Here's another one, this time for a spicy rice ball. Just notice how it describes the physical path of the feeling, that prickly spiciness literally climbing to the roof of the mouth and heating the crown of my head. It's so intense it causes an involuntary reaction. Wow, the sound just comes out. It's not just about taste. It's about capturing the entire body's response. And check this last one out. It really shows how this kind of focus can capture that gap between what you expect and what you experience. The analyst thought the noodles would be mushy, but nope, they were surprisingly firm and chewy. And there it is again, that focus on sound, that chihoek chuak to describe a sticky, clinging texture. You're paying so much attention that you can pinpoint the exact second your assumptions get flipped on their head. So you see, these incredibly detailed descriptions, they aren't just poetic little notes. They're actually the raw data. They're the fuel for an entire ecosystem that scales up from one person's single bite to a massive global platform.
And this is the real big picture, the Taste Intelligence Platform. It's this whole ecosystem designed to do one thing exceptionally well: turn that raw sensory experience into structured language, into data. And because the experience of food is so universal, that data becomes the foundation for everything else, powering education, media, new products, and of course, the gastronomic tour itself.
And believe me, the gastronomic tour is just the tip of the iceberg. It's the front door. It's actually just one of 10 core businesses built on this platform. We're talking about everything from taste entertainment and education for kids, all the way to a sophisticated AI agent and corporate training. The best part, every single one of these businesses feeds data back into the platform, making the whole system smarter. So why does any of this really matter? What's the big takeaway? Well, it's not just about finding a new way to travel. It's about finding a whole new way to value our experiences, our cities, and even ourselves. Think about it from a city's perspective. This offers a totally new way to build a brand. A city isn't just a list of tourist spots anymore. It can become a taste city. Imagine Jeonju becoming known around the world as the fermentation taste city, or Kyoto as the traditional taste city. This approach weaves agriculture, food, and tourism into one powerful story that creates incredible cultural and economic value.
And for you personally, it all boils down to this simple but really powerful idea. It starts with the most basic act, eating. But through that act, you're trained to truly feel what's happening, to find the words to express it, to record your own unique experience. And through that whole process, you grow. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. In a world that is just full of distractions, constantly pulling your attention outward, what could you discover about your food, about your city, and maybe most importantly, about yourself if you just stopped for a moment and truly listened to what your senses are trying to tell you?